Ludus, Vulpes.
Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
And I'm Phil.
You join us as we run through our opinions and thoughts of Broken and Beautiful.
A game about Kintsugi, maybe. The Japanese art of taking broken pottery and reforming it using gold to fill the cracks and creating beautiful things out of broken pottery. The idea being that it tracks and watches and enjoys the journey that the pottery has gone on, rather than just saying it's broken, chuck it away.
Yes, exactly. It's all about reuse, recycle,
It's
recycle.
all about recycling, really. It's a really nice, simple, straightforward card game for 2 to 4 players. And it runs off a small deck of cards, and we will take you through a couple of sample rounds. We've not actually got halfway through a game as we normally would, because the game is over almost too quickly. So we'll play a couple of rounds from the start this time. So we'll probably play 2 or 3 rounds, and then we'll come back and give you our thoughts on the game. First and foremost, if you join us at the table, we'll go through the rules. Okay, so here we are down at the table. There we go. We've even moved the box just so you can keep it in shot. So here we are down at the table. We got a little pile of gold just here. We got our first player token, which is elaborate but beautiful, just here. We've got a couple of player reference cards. These are double-sided, so if you're going to be playing 4-player, each person gets one. One side gives you the composition of this deck of pottery, and the other side gives you a idea about how the game is going to play. Now, we'll start off in a very simple form.
There's also a rule book included.
There is a rule book included, as you'd expect, thankfully. Maybe a rule pamphlet is close to the truth. It's very straightforward. With perhaps the scoring being the slightly tricky part, because you've got this pottery scoring piece at the bottom, which tells you how each piece of pottery is scored. Now, this is also attracting iconography on the cards.
Yes, it is.
But it kind of is, the first few plays of this game, you're going to be referencing this quite a lot, because it's just the easier way. It gives a bit more thorough description. A couple of plays in, you probably won't need that. So, how does the game play? We will deal a little market of cards, which is the number of players times 2 plus 1. So in a 2-player game, that will be 5 cards. There you go. 5 cards. Now, out of those 5 cards, each player is going to draft 2 of them. So by the end of the draft phase, Kirsty will have 2 cards. I will also have 2 cards. Now, the draft is a snake draft, so it starts with the first player, which is Kirsty.
No, I'll let you be first.
No, you don't take the card. No way, you're the first player. So Kirsty takes a bowl. I'm going to take me a little teapot, because they're quite useful. And then in the element of the snake draft, I will then get the next choice, and Kirsty will have the final choice. I'm going to get one of these tea urns, because it works with the set I'm starting to build here. Now, at the end of that round, we will look at 2 locations. We will look at the card that remains, which will become discarded. We'll look at the top of the visible deck. This is saucers and these are vases. So anything that is a saucer or a vase that's in our hand here will break. Kirsty's decided to break something that's not in the display.
Oh, I thought it was a saucer.
Thereby confusing the world. But actually now we'll break the saucer.
That was it. Sorry. Yeah.
And to break a saucer, to break an item, you turn it in halfway around. The other thing we could have done at any point during our draft was discard the card we've drafted for the number of gold ingots, which at this stage of the game is probably a little bit premature to be discarding things. You've got plenty of game left. Now, that will get you most of the way through the game. That's the draft phase. If you have got broken pottery, as Kirsty has here with her saucer, she would need to pay 1 ingot at this stage of the game after the draft to repair that piece of pottery. And in repairing that piece of pottery, she will flip it over to its fixed side.
Which obviously I won't do now because I don't have gold.
Which will change the scoring. So, and that's how things differ here. So the scoring, if something is fixed and repaired, it will improve its scoring. So the saucers work with cups, teacups. So every teacup and saucer pair doesn't have to match the patterns. Normally on this side is going to score 2 times whatever the teacup's worth, which is normally 1. If you've repaired a teacup and a saucer, you're going to have 3 times, and the teacup itself will be 3 points, giving you 9 points for repaired. So there is advantages to breaking things in this game. So we will now move into round 2. We'll just play a couple of rounds and talk through the rounds as we go. I become first player.
Ooh.
Okay, so we've got a couple of interesting cards here. This is gold. You take this and draft 3 gold. That's pretty straightforward. This one is a treasure chest. And at the end of the game, for every treasure chest, you will score points for the gold you have. So if you've got 2 treasure chests and 3 gold, you'll score 3 gold for every treasure chest, giving you 6 points. The treasure chest will hold a maximum of 4 gold, or they cannot hold, like, if you've just got 4 gold in your hand and 2 treasure chests, that's 4 times both treasure chests, which seems a little odd to me, but fair enough. So I'm going to start the draft this round. I'm going to draft the gold because that just seems good. So I've now got myself 3 ingots over here. Kirsty then gets 2 drafts in a row.
I will go for, let's have a look, I'll take this one and I will break it for, well, not break it, I will trade it in for some gold and I will take this one.
Kirsty's taking that because I've got this here, and teapots score 1 point for every matching pattern set. So Kirsty's made sure that I couldn't get a matching pattern this time.
Oops.
I will, however, take the tea caddy because the person with the most tea caddies at the end of the game will score 6 points.
Yeah.
So we now move into so this card gets we break things first.
Could I break that one? Could I convert that one to?
Yes, you can.
This.
So if we've got teacups, we will break them. Chests don't do anything. So no one has a teacup.
Nope.
That's fine. So Kirsty now has an opportunity to repair her broken pottery.
So I'll spend my gold ingot to convert this into a beautiful, beautiful, broken, now beautiful saucer.
So we'll deal some more cards for the next market phase. We have a tea tray here. You can't break those. They're the same on both sides, points-wise. But they are scoring you 2 points. So
Yep. I will go for this one.
I will take this one and this one.
I will take this one and I will trade it in for ingot.
Okay, so we're going to break, trays can't be broken, so that can get discarded. We're going to break bowls. So we both have a broken bowl. I'm going to repair my bowl.
As am I.
There we go.
Beautiful.
If we had got multiple bowls, we'd break all the bowls in our collection, unfortunately.
But then you pay to individually repair each one.
So we'll make this, I think the last round will show you, because I think hopefully you're getting a real gist of the game at this stage. Okay. And I'm the first player, so I get first pick. Now, Kirsty's going to want his teapot because she's got the willow patterny stuff. I really don't want a teapot, but I wouldn't mind that plate.
Making a set of plates, are we?
Yes.
So yes, I will correctly take this one. I will also take... I will take this. No, I'll take this one.
Okay. I will take another tea caddy and we'll break any vases and any teacups anyone has.
I don't have either. Oh, I have a teacup. Sorry, I apologise.
Turn it.
Sorry, that way.
Okay, and there you go. That is how to play Broken and Beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely card game that we'll play in about 15 to 20 minutes for a full game. So you're not hanging around as you play this game.
No.
Anything you want to say about the cards on the table or how the game sets up before we go back to us for final thoughts?
Yes. So it's important to note that the copy that we've got here is the Deluxe edition. And the difference with the Deluxe edition is that in the Standard edition, these gold ingots are just yellow wooden cubes. And the first player token, which is actually, with the detail, I don't know if you can see that, actually has the Kintsugi. I'm sorry if I'm announcing that incorrectly. On the other side. So that's a really nice little touch there. It's also a slightly more condensed box, so it takes less space. The other one is a larger kind of square box instead of rectangle. the artwork on these cards are beautiful. And I feel that it's also being considered, the different patterns and shapes and styles are being considered for colourblind as well, which is something that's quite important to me, having 2 uncles that are colourblind. So you'll note that the red and orange pattern has a circle, the blue pattern has a diamond, the greeny brown has a triangle, and so on. There is another.
But also, all the items are very well distinguishable as well.
Yeah,
so it's nice.
which is lovely.
Okay, so let's talk about our final thoughts on this
So,
game.
I first saw this game at PAX last year, and I wanted to pick it up, but it wasn't available to purchase at the time, and it wasn't going to be released in the UK at that time.
Which is a problem.
Which is a problem because I instantly fell in love with it. So I jumped onto Game Founder, did a late pledge, and then a few months later, here it is. Broken, but beautiful. Broken and beautiful. I always say broken but beautiful, but it's broken and beautiful. And it's a fabulous little game. It's a lovely, thinky little filler game. And the way I say thinky is because you want to gain benefits for yourself in terms of, right, I would like to take the teapot for that to power up the, you know, the blue ceramics that I have here. However, I also want to stop Phil being able to break and improve his tea urns, for example. So you're always thinking about that balance of, I want to get things to score, but at the same time, I want to prevent Phil from scoring.
Yeah, it's interesting because normally Kirsty doesn't play these games in that style.
No.
Normally Kirsty would play her own game and not really look at what anyone else is putting in their tableau. But this is the first game I think I've played with Kirsty where that has been like a priority from the start. And that makes this, for me, a fascinating little game because it brings out the competitive nature in people because to win the game, you really do need to be keeping an eye on what other people are doing because, for example, the tea urns that I've been collecting, I've got 3 of them now, Kirsty has none. I'm in a pretty reliable stage knowing that from a tea urn perspective, there are 6 in the deck.
Which is shown on the cards.
Yeah, so I know I've probably locked that down. Now, the problem might be if in the last phase that gets broken, which Kirsty could do. She could try and deliberately leave a tea urn to break, and that means they're worthless to me. Yep. And if Kirsty then has 1 fixed tea urn, she will take the tea urn total. Because anything that's broken doesn't count in the final scoring.
No, it doesn't.
So it's interesting to watch like a sort of a gently competitive gamer play in a more aggressive style, which is this game allows. And it's not an aggressive game by any stretch of the imagination, but it is, I don't know, it's because the deck is small, it's a very finite number of cards, it's a knowable number of cards, and you're in a position where you know you have to block somebody else from getting something, so you will take those suboptimal decisions that I often talk about being the essence of a good game. If a good game forces you into suboptimal decisions because you need to manage what other people are doing, that game's delivering something that's interesting to me. And this game does that in abundance whilst being an absolutely lovely game, little card game to look at.
Yeah, the artwork is beautiful, and it's a really nice little effect here that they've got, the simple turn of a card. You know, you're paying to be able to turn over that card, but you're not just doubling your points, you're comboing with different things. And I think that like a simple teacup alone that is not broken is worth 1 point. When it's broken and repaired with gold, it becomes 3. So put that with a saucer that goes from times 2 to times 3, as we mentioned earlier. So they've all got slightly different set rules. I think the bowls are the number of bowls you have.
Times 2.
No, it's the number of bowls you have.
Bowls times by the number of
times
bowls.
by the number of bowls. So if you've got 6 bowls, that's 6 times 6. Yeah. That's quite powerful.
But someone's going to have to let you let you take those bowls because there are only 6 in the deck.
Yeah, but it's a really nice way of having a different rule for each piece, because if one person is collecting all, one specific type, you can still compete with them using the other.
You can.
And that's a really nice, it's a beautiful little game. It's very therapeutic to play. And although it's kind of like dog eat dog in the respect that you're going for it to try and make sure you don't you try to compete with each other, it's still very therapeutic to play.
I agree.
You think?
And actually, if you can get a copy of this game, and that is probably one of the biggest downsides of this game. So This game is for those people who enjoy a light card game. It's a nice after dinner game with people who don't actually play games because it's not complex.
No.
It's a nice after dinner game with friends, and the only problem you're going to have is getting a copy. That's the downside, and it would be lovely to see this more broadly distributed in the UK, but it's not there at the moment. So if you can get a copy and it sounds like your type of game, it's probably worth pursuing. Other than that, other card games are available, and other set collection games are available, which there are many and many around the world. But this is a very beautiful example and interesting scoring elements for that set collection.
It also keeps the theme as well.
It does.
Quite nicely, that things, you know, do get broken whilst they're, you know, out on the shelf, and they do get damaged, and actually you can repair them and make them worth more.
Yes, because they've had a wonderful journey.
They have, yes.
So, if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Don't forget, we're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Just search for Ludus Vulpes.
Thank you so much for your time today.
See you soon, everyone.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.